Wait, I have a play, and today I am rehearsing for a role that represents one of the traits that can affect a human being: arrogance. Arrogance, the thing that makes you feel like you're on top of the world, and sometimes throws you down from its highest peak. I am not just a feeling or a trait. I am a force that lives inside you. I am the one who makes you see only yourself and forget everyone around you. Arrogance is a negative trait that manifests in a sense of superiority and excessive self-admiration, often resulting from external or internal reasons, such as beauty, wealth, or success. What do psychologists call me? In psychology, my real name is usually ego inflation. I appear when your perception of yourself becomes much bigger than reality. I'm not always bad. But if I grow too much, I become someone full of himself. Scientists also call me self-enhancement bias, meaning you tend to overestimate your abilities or worth, and I always wear the mask of confidence. But sometimes I'm just disguised arrogance. How did they discover me? Sigmund Freud talked about me long ago when he divided the psyche into the id, the ego, and the superego. I've always been present in the ego, which tries to satisfy you. But modern psychologists have seen me more clearly in cognitive biases. When you exaggerate your achievements, believe you are always right, or think you are the smartest person in the room, why might I take over people's minds? One undeniable fact no one can deny is that humans always strive to be perfect in everything, to be the smartest, the most successful, the richest, to own the best possessions, to be respected by everyone, or to be famous, etc. Whether they pursue it or not, deep down, they wish to achieve all of this, and in many cases, they don't even want it just for themselves. They want everyone around them to see them as superior, smart, rich, and accomplished. Up to this point, that's not the problem. The problem begins when someone weak and irresponsible tries to reach these goals but lacks discipline, determination, and the spirit to walk that path. When they start to fail, they look for anyone below them to mock, belittle, and ridicule in front of others, thinking this will earn admiration and make people see them as great. At this point, they begin to see this path as much easier than striving to achieve their goals. Then there's another type, someone smarter than the first, who almost shares the same goals, that is more focused and works hard, but when they finally reach their goals, they start to see themselves as unmatched, above the laws of nature. Even if they don't outwardly act arrogant, they feel it deep inside. Slowly, the poison of arrogance and heedlessness spreads through their mind until it's completely numb. They reach the point of believing with certainty that they can accomplish anything. They think this is confidence, but it's arrogance, simply wearing the clothes of confidence so you notice. While your mind is totally numb, time passes and you suddenly discover that your great achievement has become something ordinary. You might ask yourself, why did I used to think I was so amazing? I'll tell you, yes, your achievement was truly impressive and not something just anyone could do. But when your mind was clouded and you saw nothing but yourself, you forgot that life's competition never stops. You ignored a very important point. Just as I said earlier, every human wants to be the best, which is why everyone competes, works hard, improves their skills, or develops their business. But you stayed still, thinking you could do anything at any time. When you finally wake up, you realize you should have been grateful for what you achieved, but also never stopped working and striving. Unfortunately, you often don't realize this until the end. I mentioned that you might find your achievement fading away, but you could also find someone taking your place or position without you even noticing. That's why, if someone truly studies success stories carefully, they'll notice that 95% of people who succeed don't sustain their success. When they build a business, it often stalls and stops growing, and sometimes it collapses completely. And all these consequences come from just one thing: arrogance. Arrogance that can occupy a human mind, bring them down, and cost them everything. The fear of rejection pushes a person to arrogance and superiority as a defense mechanism to protect themselves from harm. They see showing off to others, boasting about their qualities and achievements, as a way to protect their self-respect and compensate for their lack of security and low self-esteem caused by constant comparison with others. This may make them feel better temporarily, but they will not find any real or lasting results because arrogance and haughtiness push others away, making it difficult to form solid relationships and friendships. Signs of arrogance and haughtiness: boasting about achievements and an excessive need to feel above everyone else, looking down on others and insulting them, refusing to admit mistakes and always justifying them, never accepting criticism and always reacting defensively, inability to ask for forgiveness or apologize to others. My effect on your relationships: the first thing I ruin, your relationships. Why? Because when you see yourself above everyone, you'll see them all as beneath you. You will belittle people. You won't listen to them. You'll diminish their problems. And surely no one likes being treated this way. My favorite sentence: he just doesn't understand like I do. And in romantic relationships, I make the person think only of themselves. Their feelings matter most. Their needs always come first. And that breaks any balance. Over many years, a lot of studies have shown which groups are most prone to arrogance. 1. Men more than women. Grandiose narcissism. A meta-analysis of over 355 studies over 31 years confirmed that men show more narcissistic arrogance, entitlement, and leadership than women. Women, however, may display more vulnerable narcissism. This is because society from childhood encourages men to show strength, confidence, and leadership, making them more prone to accumulating ego arrogance rather than expressing humility or vulnerability. Studies also show that men tend to self-promote more, while women experience more self-doubt. 2. Young people more than older adults, especially ages 18 to 25. A study on youth found that this group is seen as more entitled and arrogant compared to older people, and even young people themselves believe this is normal. Other analyses show that narcissism among youth increased by about 30% between 1979 and 2006 in America. This is because adolescence and young age involve an ego identity crisis, where a young person tries to prove themselves at any cost. Social media fuels arrogance. Every like or comment reinforces self-image. A lack of experience makes them feel like they know everything. 3. People with high social or economic status. A study of over 152,000 people found that individuals in higher social classes are more likely to have excessive confidence that others perceive as arrogance. This is because when someone holds a high status, they start to believe they are better than others. Studies say that money and power reduce empathy and increase the sense of entitlement. Wealth can make a person feel like, my success is because of me, not circumstances, and this is a main gateway to arrogance. 4. Leaders and entrepreneurs, CEOs, judges, PhDs. Closing parenthesis. Studies of CEOs and other leaders confirm that their arrogance hubris is linked to risky decisions, poor allocation of resources, and unethical practices within organizations. This is because high positions make people around them always say yes, so they lose balance. Over time, they start to believe they are above making mistakes or that their decisions are always right. Scientifically, this is called hubris syndrome, the arrogance linked to power. 5. Individualistic cultures like the US and Britain. Countries like the US and the UK tend to show higher levels of arrogance due to their individualistic culture, compared to collectivist cultures like East Asia or Africa, according to cross-cultural studies. This is because individualistic culture teaches you, be the best, be unique, your rights above all. This plants in people a strong urge for self-proving, comparison, and competition. unlike collectivist cultures that focus on humility and blending into the group. 6. Age and its impact. An analysis of 51 studies with 35,000 people showed that narcissistic arrogance gradually decreases with age. Young people tend to maintain higher levels if they started with high arrogance when young. A study from Ohio State University 2003 found that people with high levels of arrogance tend to exaggerate their abilities and have less empathy for others. Another study from Cornell University showed that those with excessive arrogance ignore others' advice, even if it's useful, which affects their ability to make sound decisions. This is because, with experience and life lessons, people realize they are not the center of the universe. Maturity helps you see life as it really is and learn from mistakes, slightly humbles the ego. What's the difference between me and narcissism? I am arrogance's state. Narcissism, it's a disorder. I can come and go. Narcissism lives and controls. I may be an exaggeration. But a narcissist lacks empathy, constantly needs praise, and will hurt others to feel superior. I am a phase. If it keeps repeating without awareness, I turn into narcissism. Am I helpful or harmful? Honestly, I don't think I'm helpful at all, because any arrogance you develop will only leave you waking up to a painful loss. The biggest thing that will make you get rid of me and keep me away forever is your conviction that you are not the center of the universe, that life's competition has no end, that no matter what you've achieved, there's always someone above you, and that you haven't reached everything yet. Be a role model to those below you, guide them when they need help, and treat everyone equally without any discrimination. How do you deal with me? Don't deny me. Recognize when I'm trying to slip into your mind. Ask yourself, do I need to be the best or just to be me? Humility isn't the opposite of arrogance. Humility equals being confident without belittling others. And finally, I am arrogance, I'm not always evil, but when I become your master, everything around you shatter. Either you use arrogance wisely, or it will use you without you realizing. But in either case, you can't ignore me.